What's up guys, Freya Fox here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to get verified on Instagram in 2021 and 2022 with my tried and true method that I've done for hundreds of clients. And in addition, I used to be a Facebook gaming partner and Instagram partner, so I've worked with them closely and I know exactly what it takes to get verified on these platforms in the current day and age. And these will probably be the same methods going on for many years to come. So let's dive in and learn how to get verified on Instagram moving forward. All right, so you want to get verified on Instagram or Facebook or whatever platform. No matter what platform it is, you have to understand one thing, and you need to understand that social media platforms want to verify people and need to verify people who are at risk of impersonation. Now, what does this mean? This means that you or someone you know or your client is a highly searched person, is somebody of a public interest, is a public figure, is an actor, a celebrity, a notable business person, a notable brand, somebody who can easily have their identity stolen and used for some kind of financial gain.
No, God, please, no, no!
And this is why it's very important to get verified if you fall into one of those categories. Same thing applies with like athletes and journalists, even on the local level, because people would try to impersonate them to scam other people. And that could be very, very dangerous for yourself or for your brand. And it can definitely harm the public. And that's what makes these companies offer social media verification to begin with. And that's that blue check mark that you see next to a prominent figure or prominent brand's page. And that's why they have it there, so it adds that authenticity and so that nobody can impersonate them. That being said, the other thing you need to understand, part two of this, is that Instagram and Facebook and even other companies don't actually offer verification themselves. I mean, they do, but it's not really through them, which is why when you try to apply on the app, it doesn't always work, and it usually will never work. And let me explain this further. Facebook and Instagram have what's called a media portal, and I have access to this, and I had access to it even as a gaming partner, not a big media agency. And what happens is that, let's say, you were a big soccer player, like Lionel Messi, or you were LeBron James or something like that, or you were even just a local news journalist. Instagram and Facebook don't have a way to just search this person up and know, hey, that's exactly the right account. That's the one that we have to verify and put the blue check mark. They don't know that. So instead, they outsource this to third-party agencies like media companies, like talent agencies, like PR companies, like the PR company that I own, CloudForge, to be able to do this, because chances are, like 99% chance, we know exactly whose account is the right one to verify. And all we have to do is through the media portal, submit it, and then upload some identification. And of course, if we have their ID, then they know for sure that this is the right page for this public figure, celebrity, whatever it is. And so same thing with a business, we submit the articles of incorporation and tax documents and things like that. And that proves to them that this is the right account to verify. And through the media portal, we're able to do that in an expedited process. Usually it takes anywhere from 24 hours to maybe a few weeks if they're backed up. And that's pretty much it. Most people do not know and don't understand is that you need press. What's press? Well, press is the media, right? So if you are a notable person or a notable brand, then you likely already have tons of media coverage about you. You're in articles, you're on TV, you're, in podcasts and so on and so forth. And the media is already naturally talking about you. But if you're not in one of those categories, or you're not, somebody who's already talked about in the media all the time, or your brand hasn't been mentioned yet or featured, then that's going to be an issue. And there is actually a magic number for this. And the magic number is about 15 to 20 right now. What does that mean? Well, 15 to 20 articles or TV appearances, or even better, movie appearances or documentary appearances that are made about you or the brand. And all that being said, the easiest way to do this is actually just to get media coverage in, online stuff like Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal, Yahoo Finance, Forbes, so on and so forth. These are all companies that we have definitely worked with in terms of publications and getting our clients onto those publications. And they are extremely effective at getting you verified because it does show that there is genuine public interest from the public and from from journalists to talk about you, proving that you are a notable person. And that if I am a Facebook or Instagram employee and the first thing I do is obviously I'm going to Google you, and I don't see things like, articles talking about you. I don't see maybe a Google knowledge panel, which is really important too. And it definitely helps. And I don't see all this, verifiable information that shows, hey, yeah, this person really is popular. They are legitimate and they could be impersonated because of this. Then there's a 0% chance that you will ever be verified. So I'm sure you're wondering, well, Freya, how can I get verified that I don't have any press and I don't know even where to start? Well, there's a few things you can do, and let's talk about that. So let's talk about press a little bit more, and what does that mean? Okay, and yes, it does mean articles. It does mean you got to be published and all that stuff, and maybe be on TV, but actual journalist articles where a staff or contributor writer is interviewing you, is writing about with your name in the title, or has your product that your company makes, or has your, your restaurant, whatever it is, right? They have to be talking about you and writing about you and featuring you organically. And that is what's going to qualify you to be notable in this PR sense. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how do I do that? I don't got anything. Okay. Well, if you're like most of my clients and most people that I run into, you probably don't have any press, or you have very, very little, or you've only been featured on like one or two things, like a small local thing, and that's honestly not going to cut it. So let's go over how you actually can get in the media to get verified on Instagram. The first step is to just work with a PR agency like the one that I own. Now, that is a little biased, sure, but let me explain the case. When you work with a PR agency, you're working with experts that have the connections to journalists already. They already know how to pitch, and they also have the expertise to craft the right angle and story, and even devise a corporate communications and imaging strategy for yourself to represent yourself properly in the media, and to also do things like newsjacking, which is inserting yourself into timely news pieces to get you the viral exposure that you may need to do this. And it may not be viral necessarily, but newsjacking is one way to do that. And a lot of entrepreneurs, influencers, they just don't know how to do this properly. And that's why I would say you should hire a PR agency to do this, because it's going to be the fastest way to do this. Now, it's also going to be the more expensive way because you're paying for the labor and the connections. But if you're looking to do this properly and quickly, I would highly suggest you hire a PR agency like CloudForge, which is in the description below, to get this done for you. Now, the second way to do this is you can just DIY, but this method may be slower and it's obviously free, but it's not guaranteed. No matter what you do, you have to still go out there and pitch. There's a very low chance that journalists will come to most people and naturally talk about them, unless a few things happen. Unless if you went viral, or you just had this amazing story and you pitch it and it's just like, oh my God, like everybody, like you discovered like, fusion nuclear energy, for example. And in that case, you probably don't need to do anything anyways. There's no DIY going on. You're just going to get natural exposure. So if you're going to go with the natural outreach, then you're going to have to spend, maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe even 8 hours a day, just constantly pitching, refining your angle, and trying to get yourself on these big outlets so that you can get that magic 15 to 20 number that you need, which is why I recommend this method for people who do not have the budget to hire a PR agency, which will usually cost you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars and upwards. So hopefully this all makes sense and you know what to do. I don't imagine that these requirements will change anytime soon or the near future, because they have been set in stone for many years now. So if you have any other questions, please drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video with your friends so that it helps more people like you see this. And if you absolutely want to go ahead and move forward and get some PR for yourself, please contact me and my team in the email below or at cloudforge.com to get started on your verification journey today.